All right, so today we're dealing with the front load LG washer that has a bad drain pump. When we put it to the drain cycle, it isn't pumping the water out, and it also is making a really bad grinding noise. Let me put it on real quick so you can hear what I'm talking about. So I've got it on the drain cycle right now. No water is being pumped out, and it's making that grinding noise. I'm not quite sure if you can hear it with my microphone, but we're going to go ahead and open it up, and I'm going to show you how to repair it. All right, so this is a relatively simple repair. What you're going to do is come to the back, and we're going to take the lid off first. There's two tabs here, plastic tabs, and they've got screws on the top and bottom. There's two on this side and two on that side. All you need to do is take out the bottom screw on each side. So we're going to do that right now. And then you just want to push the lid back, slide it, pop it off. There's a screw right here that helps hold this control panel in place. Go ahead and take that one out. And then we're going to come back to the front of the machine, and we want to take the detergent dispenser out. So pull it towards you, and there is a little button right here on top that you're going to press down to pull that out. And then there are two screws that hold that in place. So go ahead and take those two out. Now we're going to come down towards the bottom of the machine, and you're going to open up this little door right here, and this gives you access to the filter. And you've got a screw right here that you'll want to take out. Pull that hose down, and then look to see if you have a secondary screw. Some machines will have it and some won't. So if you do, just go ahead and take that one out. And then you can just pop this out, and there'll be another screw right there that you want to take out. Now we want to take this control panel off right here. This is the user interface board. Sometimes you can just grab it with your fingertips and just kind of work it back from the top. Okay, this one's being a little bit stubborn, so and if that's the case for you, then what you want to do is you want to get a flathead screwdriver and then just work it up underneath here and go all the way across. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to pop out all these little plastic tabs that help hold the control panel in place. Now for what we're doing today, you do not have to actually unplug this control board. You can just pick it up and set it up here on top. And then we're going to open the door, and we want to remove the ring that goes around the boot seal right here. Let me give you a little bit closer of a look so you can see what I'm talking about. So if you look closely back here, behind this little lip, there's that little metal ring. And all you want to do is just take your flathead screwdriver, stick it up underneath there, and pull out towards you. And that just comes right off. Now they do make a special tool for taking that ring off and putting it back on. They sell it on Amazon. I'll put a link in my description. You don't have to have one. I do it all the time without them, but if you feel more comfortable, if you think it might be a little bit easier for you, you can click on the link and buy that tool. It's about 10 bucks. Next is to go ahead and remove this whole front panel right here. You're just going to undo all the screws that help hold it in place. This particular machine has 6. Some of them will only have 4. Some will have 5. So how many ever you have, just take them all out. And then just work your boot seal back in through the other side of the door right here. Now you want to come over the top of the panel and look for this. This is the door switch, and this is the wire harness that connects to it. So I'm going to go ahead and just push in on that tab and pull it out. And then you can just take that whole panel off. Next, we want to go ahead and remove this lower counterweight right here. And to do that, you can just use a 10 millimeter deep socket. Well, I mean, any 10 millimeter socket, but I use a deep socket. It just has 4 screws to help hold it in place. Pull it off. This gives us access to the drain pump now. There's 2 different types of setups that LG uses in terms of mounting the drain pump to the machine. On this one, you can see here that it uses a metal bracket to hold it in place, and there is a screw right there. There's one back there, and there's one down there. Now on some of the other models, it won't have this metal bracket, okay? It'll actually just have 2 screws right up here that hold it in place. On this one, obviously it has the bracket, so we're just going to go ahead and remove those screws. If you do have the other kind, you would remove these 2 screws right here, and then up underneath it back here would be a little plastic piece that you would push in to pull it out. So we're going to go ahead and hit it with that 10mm socket again. Now that we've got those unscrewed, I'm going to go ahead and remove the drain hose and this line right here that runs to the tub, just so that I can show you a little bit better what we're doing. But just know that you do not have to take these off in order to do this repair. Once you have these screws out, you can just pull that up and then twist it to the side and unscrew the drain pump and put the new one on. Now remember, you just saw that water come out of there. If your machine is full of water and you're trying to change the pump, if you open any of this up, even removing the old drain pump, any water that's in your tub is going to come out onto your floor. So you'll want to make sure that you drain it first with this drain line right here that runs to the filter. All right, so we've got it completely disconnected now. I'm going to go ahead and unplug it. It's got 2 wires that run to the pump. Now we've got it completely out. Another difference that you might see on yours versus this is if your machine has 2 pumps on it, one on this side and one on this side, the one that is on the right hand side is not the drain pump. It is the circulating pump that allows water to be pushed back up through some hoses into the sides of your boot seal. The one on the left is going to be the actual drain pump. So if your machine isn't pumping water out, you want to change this one, okay? Now, if you have this metal bracket, okay, to make your life a whole lot easier, uninstalling the old drain pump and putting the new one on, flip it like this and unscrew this screw right here in the front. And then if you turn it upside down, there's 2 screws right here. Undo one of them, the one on the left closest to the drain pump, completely. And then the other one, you can take it all the way out or you can just unscrew it a little bit. And what that does is it helps release this off of here, okay? If you try to change the pump with it still attached to the bracket, if you don't loosen those, it's going to be a lot trickier to get the new pump off. Your old pump will come off pretty easily, but getting the new one on can be a little tricky. So we'll just get that out of the way. And now to remove your actual drain pump, you're going to have 3 screws all around here. Okay. We'll pop those out. Now you can just remove it. All right, so here's where I'm going to nerd out on you a little bit, okay? This is what your old pump looks like. This is the OEM pump, and this propeller, it just spins, okay, to pump the water out. And usually when they're broken, it'll do like this. I don't know if you can really see. It'll, instead of spinning in a perfect circle, it'll kind of have a wobble to it. A lot of the times this actually will break off. And I think that the plastic on these is just a cheap plastic. So once they do that, it just makes the grinding noise, and then it's done. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. If you go on somewhere like Amazon and you find the part number for this one and you pop that into Amazon search page, it's going to come up with a million different listings of pumps that look just like this one. And I will tell you from personal experience and years of doing this, do yourself a favor and do not buy one of those, okay? They're cheap. They usually run like 15 to 20 bucks. And like I said, they look exactly like this, but the quality is absolutely terrible. It took me a really long time to find a suitable replacement that I could trust and depend on. And what you'll see with those aftermarket ones that you buy on Amazon is it's really a mixed bag. Sometimes there's a little seal right here. See if I can pull it off. So there's a little seal right here that goes around the edge of this. And on some of those new ones, the seals are terrible. You pop them in, you put your machine back together, and it starts leaking. I've had ones where I go through the process of putting a new one in, put it all back together, and the grinding is just as bad on the brand new one as it is on the one that I took out. It really is a crapshoot as to whether or not you're going to end up with one that works properly or not. And even if you do, the reviews over and over again, I've read the same things, lasted a month, lasted 2 months, before I had to get back in there and replace it. So please don't waste your time and your money on these. This is where experience comes into play. This right here is what you want to buy. This is actually a drain pump for a Frigidaire dishwasher. Now it costs about the same amount of money, 15 to 20 bucks on Amazon. Again, you're going to find multiple listings for it. I will link, I'll put a link in the description for this. I would highly encourage you to buy one like this. I am an Amazon affiliate, so of course, if you click on my link, it helps me, it promotes the channel. But that's not why I encourage you to buy it, okay? I really genuinely don't care if you don't buy through my link. If you go on Amazon and you find this exact one, please buy this one. These are made so much better. They're unbelievably quiet. The seals are perfect on them. I buy these in bulk, usually 10 to 12 at a time, and I have never had an issue with these. They do look a little bit different. So you can see here, one of the most obvious things is that these are flat on the side and this is round all the way around. It does not matter. It's still going to fit on there the way that it should, and it's going to seal perfectly. And I promise you that if you buy this one, you're going to be a million times happier in the long run than buying a replacement one that looks like this. So now that I am done with my little rant there, we're going to go ahead and pop the new one back on. So just face it towards you like this part of it. This is where the filter is, and this is how it sits in your machine. And usually the best positioning I have found is to take this and this bottom part of the motor here, kind of line it where it's going straight up and down with this drain line, and then just give it a small little turn towards the back, right about there, so it's offset just a little bit, and then make sure you push in all the way. You should hear it snap. And then it came with you're taking the 3 screws that held the old one in place. We're going to put those back in, and I always put one on the end on one side, in the middle down here, and then the end, the top part on the opposite side. And then you just screw those all in, and make sure that you screw them in all the way, because if you don't, it won't seal properly and it'll leak. Once you got that on there, you can just pick it up and do a visual inspection all the way around here where it meets, and just make sure that there's no gap. Again, these are really good, and I have never had an issue with it creating a gap and leaking. I'm gonna put this back on this bracket first. So the bracket will go like this, and this piece right here is going to slip into the front like that. I'll put the screws back in. And then the two that we took out on the bottom. And don't forget your bolts here. So first we want to reconnect the wires. Doesn't matter which one goes where. Then we'll set this back in here. If you took it out all the way, you're going to make sure that this drain line comes through this hole down here. And then go ahead and screw it back in. If you did take off the hoses to take the whole assembly out, then you want to just go ahead and reconnect those. Your drain line with the green end here goes on top, and this fat hose coming from the tub goes on the back of it. And then just re-secure your clamps. All right, let's pop our counterweight back on. We can go ahead and pop our front panel back on. There are little metal pieces at the 3 little metal tabs at the bottom of the machine, and there's some slits in the bottom of your front panel. You just want to get those metal pieces to go through those slits. You want to reach over the top and reconnect your door switch. And then push your front panel all the way up. Hold it with your leg if you want. And then just screw those back in. And just take your control panel, pop it back on there. And the 2 screws that go back over here to hold the housing for the dispenser are going to be longer screws, the longest ones that you're going to pull out. Pop those in. And put your tray back in. You got 1 screw that you got to put back on this back side of the panel. Hold it in place. When you pop this back in, it'll go like this with the big hole kind of towards the right, and this drain hose right here, this little drain line, will feed through this smaller hole, and you can secure it. And then you can put the hose in that little holder and put this little door back on. All right, this last part is where people tend to struggle a little bit. So you're gonna want to pull this boot seal through the door right here, okay? And then if you look on the back of it, it's got a little lip, as well as there's a metal lip for the on the door, the panel. And you just want to take your fingers and just kind of gently work the boot seal over that lip all the way around. And then once you've got it, you know, where you think it's on there pretty good, just take your fingers and make sure that it's flush. And then we'll put our ring back on there. Now, taking it off without the tool was really easy because all you needed was a flathead screwdriver. I'm going to show you how to put this back on with just a pair of needle nose pliers. But again, if you want to buy that tool, click on the link in the description. You can get it from Amazon. If you've never done this, I guess it could be tricky, but the tool is supposed to make it a lot easier. I've just never used it. So you'll take your ring. So you'll take your ring, and the spring goes on the bottom part. And instead of putting it right in the middle, I usually offset it a little bit to the right, and then I slip about half of that ring into that little groove on the boot seal in the back. And then I take my needle nose pliers and I grab the end where the spring is, and then just use my weight to pull from right to left and just work it in. And that's all there is to it. Now we've got the new drain pump installed, and you should be good to go. We'll catch you next time.